Hey Stitches, I'm Sam Cole and this is Maxie. And today we are going to be reading the 3 books that my partner picked out for me in last week's video. That video was sort of my partner picks my spooky TBR, and so I'll link that down below for you to check out. But the 3 books that he recommended for me were Pet Semetary by Stephen King, A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, and The Silent Patient by Alex Michaelides, I think. And so yeah, come along with me while I read these spooky reads and give you my thoughts on it. So it's the next day and I finished Pet Semetary last night and it was so good. I really loved this being my first King. I feel like it was very approachable, not too scary, but also like definitely spooky, definitely like uncomfortable feeling. Yeah, it was so good. Obviously I knew like where the story was going, because since I've seen the movies and like know about it just from like being a human, but I thought it was really fun to see like how we got there. I think I'm gonna give it like a 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. I thought that the people in it were really like lovable and likable, and I think that like that helped a lot because you're reading about these horrible like scary things, but you're rooting for the people still, even if they're making bad choices. And that was really interesting to see in that whole like dynamic. So yeah, very good, super excited. I definitely want to read more King now in the future, so I'll have to get Tucker's ideas for that. But yeah, very good. Moving on to V.E. Schwab's A Darker Shade of Magic now. Hey Stitches, so I'm about 80% of the way through A Darker Shade of Magic and I'm really loving it so far. I think one of the main reasons that I really enjoy it is because of the world building and like the magic system. I don't think it's would be super confusing if this was one of your first fantasies, but again, it's not as like straightforward as something like Powerless or something like that where it's a little more surface level, but this I think gives you enough information in like digestible chunks, and so it gives you a little information and then you get to like stew over it and be a little confused, but more like I want to know more, let's keep reading, rather than being like what the heck is happening. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm really loving it. I think I only have like a little less than 100 pages left, so I'm gonna try and finish that tonight and then I'll get back to you with my thoughts. Hey besties, so it's the next day and I finished A Darker Shade of Magic last night. It was so good. Like I was saying before, I really loved the magic system. I really loved how they set up the characters and the story, and moving forward, this one is a trilogy and it really kind of left off like not on a cliffhanger, but really like I want to know what these characters are doing next. And so I started the second book. I just couldn't help it. I only got, yeah, like 40 pages in, so not far at all. But I think I'm gonna put this on hold so I can finish our little challenge for this vlog, and I'm gonna read The Silent Patient. I started this today and already got to page 65, and it's really good. It's like definitely a little creepy and a little depressing, just because it takes place like in a psychiatric hospital, and like she killed her husband and all this stuff. So yeah, now that I know a little bit more about this, I can give like a better synopsis. So essentially it's about this woman who was found in her home with her husband like murdered, and her husband was like tied up to a chair and shot in the face like 5 times or something, and then she was found there just standing there with her wrists cut, like she was trying to kill herself. That's not a spoiler, this all happens like literally like the first chapter. But ever since then she's been completely silent and won't say anything to anyone, and she's been in this hospital for like 5 or 6 years, I think. I don't know. Also, that was all on the back what I just said, but I hadn't read it. But yeah, it's super good so far, super creepy. I'm very interested to see how it goes. We do have some like journal or diary entries from the main woman, the silent patient, which adds a bit of background. She was writing it like before the murder happened and everything, and so that's giving a little bit of context on like her life and stuff like that. But yeah, we're gonna try and read a little bit more of this and get back to the Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. I think I'm gonna give this one, I'm stuck between like a 4 and a 4.5. I don't really like doing like half ratings, like a 4.25 or 4.75, just because like that doesn't really make sense in my brain. But I don't think it was a 5-star, only because like I didn't get those like 5-star feelings that I get, but I can very easily see the rest of the series becoming that, and I would not be surprised if the rest of the series ended up being 5 stars. So I'm definitely starting that right after I finish this challenge. And so yeah, let's get to reading.
I think I'm gonna give this 3 stars. I was on leaning towards a 2 stars. I just really wasn't enjoying it, but I think the second half picked up, and I think the ending was very interesting, and I liked the way that it ended. I had no idea where the story was going, and honestly was confused majority of the book. I just think the writing didn't fall me, and it's kind of like outside of dark folk fantasy. It's kind of a mix between the dark, like the dark spookiness, but it kind of almost reads like a historical type of one. Like they.
be sure to check out next week's video for my full thoughts and feelings and reviews and ratings for the 3 books that I've read in this video. I'm gonna make sure to get Tucker back on here and we can discuss, have a dialogue about like my thoughts and how close he was to being right about my ratings or how far he was, and kind of see if he has any other suggestions based off of these reads.